So Manchester United are back. Let's go. 0-0. Cracking game. Well, wasn't the best game. Wasn't the worst game. What I'm going to do, run through my match reaction. I'm going to speak more about individuals in this match reaction than I'm going to speak about the overall team performance. If you want a quick summary, better in the second half than we were in the first half. There you go. Quick summary. Anyway, we lost the first game of pre-season last pre-season. We won this one. So that's progress. Let's get into it. All right. It was the first time that we saw Matheus Cunha in a United shirt. And straight away, I saw what I know I'm going to love about Cunha. You know exactly what I'm going to say. It's ball carrying, man. He immediately did things that players were scared to do in a United shirt last season. Oh, there's a gap between two players. Let me just try and run straight through it. Not pass to you, pass to you. Now, sod that. I'll do it myself. Boom, straight forward. Aggressive, athletic, strong, created chances. I'll be honest, if Cheeto had left that chance, I think Cunha probably would have scored a goal. I think it was a positive debut. I think he showed what he's going to do. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how that partnership might develop across the course of the season down the left-hand side, depending on how much Diego Leon plays. I think Diego Leon showed exactly what he's going to be in this first season, all right? He is going to need development, but the raw potential is there. Kind of a bit like Dorgu when he came into United last season. I'll speak about Dorgu from the second half. Diego Leon, exciting going forward, a clear threat. Less space in behind. Got exploited 2 or 3 times by Leeds, and in the first half, that was the side where they were going down and attacking. That's going to happen across the course of the season. But he's probably going to be United's backup. Left wing back. Let's be totally honest. But yeah, for me, Cunha was a standout in the first half. I think interestingly enough, Ahmad started as the right wing back, which is exactly where I think he's going to play this season. But then moved further forward and actually was the right attacking midfielder as the half progressed. And I think Collier ended up becoming the right wing back, which was a little bit odd. I'll be honest, it was a little bit odd. Right? That was a team in the first half. Anyone else to really speak about? Nah, not particularly. Same frustrations I have with the build-up system existed in this game. If you want to pull one thing out in terms of speaking about the team, it's when the centre-back pushes up to become a central midfield 2 with the 2 centre-backs then splitting. It just doesn't seem to work. We don't have the central centre-back who's comfortable stepping up into midfield to create that shape. And we were poor in playing out from the back. Completely different team in the second half and plenty to talk about. Why don't you speak about Kobbie there? He's not the standout player from that half. I quite enjoyed watching Kobbie there. Played central in a midfield too, which is where I expect to see far more Kobbie Mainoo this season. Last season it was, is his best position central midfielder or is he actually further up? Had that game against, what was it, Steaua Bucharest, and I was like, boom, there he is. That's Mainoo's position, play him closer to goal. But I actually don't think that's going to happen now because we signed Mbeumo and we signed Cunha, so Mainoo's going to play deeper. I actually thought he played quite well. But for me, the player who was a standout in that second half, was I would probably go Yoro. You could go Dorgu, I think, and I'll speak about Dorgu next, but Yoro, man. You remember, it was the 20th of July last year, I quickly checked during the game, where we played Rangers, it was his debut. Do you remember that pass that he did? It was like a 60-yard raking pass. He pulled off like 3 of those. Looked really good. And that back 3, you could probably argue that's United's strongest back 3. Aiden Heaven, Maguire, and Yoro. You could argue that if you want. He actually played a lot of his best games as left centre-back. But he's shown that versatility, can play on the left or the right-hand side. He was composed, and that quality playing out from the back and those diagonal switches, it adds something. It's not a necessity for a modern defender, but it kind of is what separates good defenders from great defenders. Great defenders can do more than just defend, right? And that's what Lenny Yoro showed there. But I want to speak about Dorgu. Deloitte had a decent enough second half as well, but he was firing a lot of crosses in. Højlund wasn't getting on the end of them. I think Højlund ended up blocking a shot, which may have gone in from Dorgu. Not quite sure. I don't know how United didn't score towards the end, though, by the way. What was it? A cross from Mount, knocked back in by Højlund. Mainoo crashes a header off the bar, drops to Heaven. Somehow he doesn't get it in. Don't know. Really quite annoying. But Dorgu, I don't know if I've just got more visibility of some United fans that weren't particularly happy with his first season or not. I don't quite know. That looked like a developed 45 minutes from Dorgu. The athleticism's always there, but he was making much better decisions. Of course, it's pre-season. It's against Leeds. So you can't really look into that too much. But I like what I saw. And yeah, so if I'm going to choose the 2 players who stood out in that game, I'm going to go for Cunha in the first half. And like, think about this, man. Like, Bring Mbeumo into that team. You know, one thing I would say, right, and this is something I felt, and it's why I still feel so strongly about signing a central midfielder. Bruno started there in the first half. He ended up being like the deepest central midfielder at one point, and then he's playing further forward. There was a lot of sort of positional rotation, kind of really between the central midfielder, who was deepest, who was further forward. I don't think there's a duo in this United squad currently, midfielder-wise, that complement each other perfectly. Whether you play Bruno with Mainu, or whether you play Bruno with Ugarte, or Ugarte with Mainu, or Ugarte with Collier, I just don't think there is a duo which is perfect for that formation, if I'm being completely honest. And it's why I'm so head set on United signing a new central midfielder. But we're back in action, all right? We got to see Cunha in a United shirt for the first time, and he was everything that I wanted him to be. Straight away. Maybe that's a little bit overzealous. Probably is a little bit overzealous. But still, I enjoyed what I saw. And I think as long as Cunha, he doesn't have to do anything new. And this is the big thing, right? I'll go back. Let me pull the photo of Cunha up here, right? Cunha doesn't really have to develop at all as a football player. You see, what you did at Wolves, do it in a United shirt. That's the thing that so many of our signings just simply haven't done. There's other signings that you get, and they need to develop and improve it as a player, etc. Yeah, that's not Cunha. That's not going to be Mbeumo. I just need you to do what you did in the Wolves and Brentford shirt, doing it in United shirt. And that's what I think you saw in that first half from Cunha. The responsibility, taking the ball on, good link up, good aggression in and out of possession. I think you could actually see that from an athletic perspective, that he's a couple of notches above his teammates. And in that second half, I think Yoro stood out, and so did Dorgu. Thought the team played better in the second half than the first half, but let's be honest, it's a 0-0 draw. Right, so we now fly back. Mbeumo's having his medical at Carrington. Well, I think he's already had his medical. Either way, he's signing that contract this weekend. He's going to be on the plane, and we fly out to America on Tuesday. Cunha and Mbeumo. And I'll tell you what, a video that's coming in the next hour on the channel. We've got the Here We Go on Marcus Rashford to Barcelona, which is a great bit of news. And I'll run through the details. I hope United can just use the preseason for what it's for. Come into this season prepared. I hope that I'm still worried about the playing out from the back. I'll be totally honest, I still am. It was the same shape as last season, and that's why I want a new midfield signing. But either way, Cunha's made his debut. Leon's made his debut. Good. I enjoyed parts of that game, and other parts, it's a little bit whiffy. But what would you expect? United are back in action. The season has started, people. Strap yourselves in, because we go again.